Monday morning. It's another Indian summer week. We getting great weather here in Milwaukee. You're on Be a Voice Radio for Wisconsin Voices, WNOV 860 AM, 106.5 FM. Bryan Sanders, community outreach organizer here for Wisconsin Voices, alongside Mr. David Bowen, executive director for Wisconsin Voices. What's going on, my brother?
Good morning, WNOV. Good morning, Bryan.
Hey, how you feeling?
I'm good, man. Good weekend, and God blessed us with weather.
Man, we are getting. I'm telling folks that's everybody's motto this way. Like, I'm getting outside. I gotta enjoy this weather. Even people who like to sit inside and hop on the sports, gambling and bets and all that good stuff. They like, I got to get outside. A lot of people was just trying to get out there and all these last minute activities and events that people putting together. So
Yeah,
I'm glad people still stretching. I was telling somebody at an event this past week. I'm glad that everybody's stretching it towards the beginning October, some of the community events and some of the stuff outside. So they actually can really, get the scene and get the community out. So
shouts out to the people that were at Sister Strut over the weekend.
oh yeah, Sister Strut was this weekend.
Yeah. It was a good look over there.
Yeah.
Saw Police Chief Norman over there engaging with the ladies.
Oh yeah,
doing his thing.
That now is that down at the lake, right?
It was at the Market Center for the Performing Arts, the
Okay.
outdoor stage.
Okay.
So it was a good look.
Okay, yeah, some of them flying the radar over me. I know this is that in the this coming week. Is there another breast cancer awareness walk going on too? Is that just usually the one? Sister Strut is
I think that's the big one.
The big one, right?
There are always a number of them
Right.
every summer. So, and then like you said, we got good weather, right? So if you wanted a chance to do something outdoors, for all the people that knock Wisconsin, they knock Milwaukee for being cold.
Yeah,
like
man, I can't come up.
Jokes on you right now.
Yeah, we are getting it because I definitely seen that our weather was a little warmer than some of our counterparts and our partners and the allies and folks and working this work. They got that mid 70s out there. We was cracking into that upper 70s and 80s up over here, and on this side, DC was just a little cooler than Milwaukee this weekend, but I hope that weather overall worked out. I seen it looks like they were starting to have some weird weather Saturday. I don't know if they even got it, but I'm hoping that all our Milwaukee folks who went out to CBC this weekend had a good time. I'm sure you got a lot of reports. And
I literally was at I was walking around, being around the community and stuff like that. People was like, "Shouldn't you be at CBC?"
Man, I got.
So this was my first CBC
that you was there.
I missed. Probably in the last 10 years.
I know. I think everybody was kind of feeling it. Like, I feel like usually I should be out there. Yeah,
couldn't make it this time, but it's all good.
I want to shout out one of our partners out there. Transformative Justice Coalition had a 10-year reunion for their partners who are the youth engagement and the civic engagement participants and the folks who have worked with work with Transformative Justice Coalition. So shout out to Attorney Daryl and Attorney Barbara as well, who was celebrating with a lot of the TGC alumni, which one of my I am myself who went out there and did a training with them September of 2022. So shout out to them and their organization for, I'm sure, a successful weekend as well.
Yeah, it definitely looked like it was a good look.
Mm-hmm.
Governor Westmoreland of Maryland.
Oh yeah.
Was the keynote of the Black Tie Award dinner, the Phoenix Award
Phoenix
dinner.
Yeah.
And he made some really big, put a really big flag in the sand. He said the current Republican efforts around redistricting are just like redlining, right? They're redlining Black districts. They're redlining Black members of the Congressional Black Caucus from being able to serve, from being able to have their voices counted, the Black voters have their voices counted. So it looked like it was people ate it up, and it was a really good time. Yeah. Shouts out to Congresswoman Gwen Moore.
Oh yeah, always
the Queen Mother.
Oh man, that's another one. Just going to her event and her forum that she always have with the Wisconsin, her constituents, and then going and sometimes
I always look out for my shout out.
Yeah.
When you go to the was that now it's on Friday, right?
Yeah.
Her session's on Friday. So
she
gives everybody from Wisconsin a shout out. So I
Mm-hmm.
usually look forward to my shout out every year. So I missed it this time, but Congresswoman, I got you next
out there deep too. That's what I was telling her. I'm like, the Milwaukee.
We actually have
it's always
really
it's
good
a really
delegation.
Good scene. For Milwaukee. I always love it. Because you go to other cities, you go, okay, I didn't see everybody first, and then because sometimes if I get out there on that Wednesday and Thursday, like I've been the last few years, you don't really get to see your Wisconsin people until like that Gwen Moore event. So by the time you get there, you be happy to see everybody in one space that you get to see. Of course, at home you get to see everybody. I know that's a big thing for everybody. I think last year we all took that big picture out there because you took the big picture at the event last year, right? Was you out there last year?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we all took that one picture. With Gwen Moore, and then everybody went over to the Italian restaurant. But I had to shoot over to another event at the same time because it was just so much going on, So I told her, I said, I want to stay and eat real bad, but I got invited to go eat over here real quick, and I'll be back if I can. But yes, it's
the CBC busyness of just like everything happening at the same time.
Man.
Literally, like you can't make it everything, right?
Mm-mm.
So it's literally like every hour it's at least 3 spots you could be in at the same time.
You getting tickets for stuff, and then you slide in for 15 minutes, and then you go over somewhere and you say, I'm gonna be here for 30 minutes, and then you end up being for 2 hours.
Before you know it, time is gone.
The networking is it's just an easy access to networking if you have something that you're working on, or if you really think that you have a change. Even for my people that's trying to get into the community and the political work, I think that's a good way to really motivate yourselves, especially for y'all who like to travel too. So I definitely recommend it to anybody that has been trying to find a way to seeing what's going on and how it makes sense for them. So seeing it on both ends, whether they like, man, I want to go back into law, or I want to go into looking at community and politics more, like go out to CBC. You'll see what folks is doing. You'll have a conversation with people from all different types of lanes and backgrounds.
Big facts. I saw one of our guests that we had on, one of our national guests, Gregory Jackson. His organization and the work he was doing, a lot of the folks that connect over violence prevention and violence prevention, gun violence prevention,
right?
Funding, right? There we go. Get it out. They had a number of sessions out there too. So I saw him in the mix, and everybody was getting busy. Everybody was like, even with the dynamics of so much national opposition to some of the good things that were happening, investments that were there, is causing a lot of people to come back to get together, re-strategize, reconnect. So it's still a silver lining in this, and the fact is that we still are all in this together at the end of the day. And CBC is one of those spaces where you get a chance to just get that affirmation, just like, I'm not in this alone. I'm not fighting by myself. And some of the most brilliant minds.
Yeah, I'm impressed every year. I mean, I was sitting on a step last year with one of the board members, Chelsea, who came out there and hung out with us, and we sitting there talking to 2 people who was working for the international, was it the IMF or the IMF banker, international banker, some major, the banking system, and then you right across from you somebody who's like a diplomat to, like, Trinidad, because we was at the Trinidad and Tobago street party, block party. So you got these diplomats and these World Bank workers just sitting here on the porch with you, and they just welcoming you, telling you, man, you got to come back. And that was one thing I missed this year, because they was telling us, like, y'all got to make sure y'all back at the party next year. But they come out to Trinidad and Tobago and enjoy, like, just the people, and they were so welcoming. I had a great time. So like you said, you just never know. You
gotta
see
make
that
it out to Trinidad.
Yeah. You been out there yet?
I have not. I was just gonna say, that reminded me. I was looking through some photos. I had a little fear of missing out on CBC. So I was looking through some old photos.
I was trying not to look too hard.
I met make you sad, right?
Yeah.
I met the Fed board chair, one of the Fed board members, Lisa Cook.
Okay.
Out there, first Black woman to serve as a Fed governor, I believe, and she's the same one that, like, the Trump administration and the White House have been targeting and tried to kick her off the board. And man, like,
that's
powerful, just powerful moments of just like being able to connect with, like, people that are working at the highest levels.
Yeah, you really rubbing shoulders with, you
Black
don't know, all over.
Levels.
I mean, I was meeting, like I said, I was meeting reps and state representatives, Black representatives out from Seattle, Washington. That was just, they just in the mix. Like, you really turn around and you really interacting. Like I said, somebody that's like a David Bowen in the mix, just, hey, what's going on? What you doing? Oh yeah, I'm just here hanging out. But I am to also the state assembly, but whoever for California or Boston, or the mayors be out there, the black mayors and just the mayors in general be from all across the country just be out there. So it's a good time if you're really trying to network. You need to try at least one time. I say.
I think you should.
Yeah,
for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
And definitely encouraging young people to go out there too.
Oh yeah,
Like,
big time,
huge opportunity.
big time. I definitely, the time, 2 or 3 times where I was able to tell, and we got some young guys from here that were able to go through TJC, and a couple young ladies from here that were able to go out through TJC that were able to enjoy it. But I had to like push whoever I could. A friend of mine, Connie Constant, she was able to go on the trip. Juan from Turner's, he went out there with me, and then his little young brothers went out there. And then there's a couple people from other organizations that were connected. They were able to go out there as well and go through the same program. So
Gotcha.
and we were able to get their siblings or their cousins to go through. So yeah, they got that experience. And it's like, man, I never been to anything like this. I'm like, yeah, it's one of the most organized black events probably in the country. It's the most organized black event in the country.
And it's all business during the day, right? So you're going to workshops, you're going to panels, you're going to these sessions. And then at night you have all these receptions.
Yeah.
You'll see Mace perform. You'll see I think I saw Manny Fresh. I saw
T.I. T.I. the year before last. He just came out of the blue. Like he just was running past, and I was talking to some reps, and he just ran out the blue, just started rapping from the drinking area all the way to the stage. So I didn't even see him in the crowd. So yeah, everybody's there. I mean, Megan Good was out there one year, and Lorenz Tate throws a party.
That's right.
That we went to, and just they just be scattered through. That everybody's, they're even speaking on forums, like you said, or they're at the receptions. So.
For sure. And we got a guest that is he's no stranger to CBC.
Oh yeah.
And young people being politically connected. So we got a great guest for you all once he gets here. Mm-hmm. But there was a story I wanted to cover before we switch over to our guest. And there's an interesting dynamic we talked about on the show, the hasty decision of just calling the National Guard and having the National Guard provide a presence throughout different cities in the country. And usually these weren't cities in right-leaning states or Republican represented states. It was targeted for Democratic led represented states, Democrat-run cities, and Democratic-run cities. And then, just to highlight, just this weekend, we saw National Guard members pop up in Chicago. Yeah. So that was brand new, probably within the last 24 hours. We're not assigned to the areas with the most violence. They just popped up in downtown Chicago while people are getting brunch, while people are walking around enjoying the day.
Yep, you see all the Army fatigue, and I swear a dude had night vision on. I swear a dude on the street has some type of night vision on.
Yeah, and then carrying around full automatic weapons.
Yeah.
And, military grade weapons. Mm-hmm. So, we talked about it on the show of, could we be more intentional of making a better decision instead of just randomly deciding we're going to spend these federal resources just to send National Guard members? Could we, in a sense, be more strategic and figure out where federal support should reside and where it should go? And one of the things that happened I believe this is in DC, right? So one of the biggest operations that the White House has pushed was to provide a National Guard presence in DC to prevent violent crime. And you have a firefighter that literally in DC gets robbed, he gets hurt, and he gets shot. He's trying to call for 911 help, and he's on hold for 3 minutes, and his call to 911 does not get answered. And I find it interesting that the whole federal occupation and operation is going on at the same time. People will swear, hey, don't you want these National Guard members to keep community safe? But because they did not do an analysis of what was really needed and supported in DC, the 911 operations center is working to the max and understaffed, and they don't have enough operators to take calls. So literally you have a firefighter that almost dies from being hurt, and he has to call his own fire department, his own fire station.
This is 9 days
to come help him. Yep.
This was just 9 days ago. And on top of that, he was able to grab the gun and return fire to keep the robber from coming on him and pressing him again. So that's showing you right there, like you got all this time to do all this. There's no you putting all this work in the streets, and then there's no response to no National Guard, no ICE, nobody in that area. Highly concerning. Highly concerning.
Highly concerning, for sure.
So where's the money at? So, but what I did see is they've been scrubbing a lot of concrete pillars, though. A lot of concrete pillars. What's going on, sir? How you doing? Good to see you. They've been scrubbing a lot of concrete pillars around there, though. So I'm guessing that is why, if you got 7 or 8 National Guards grouped up in one spot, and Mr. Haywood could probably tell us what he's been seeing since he's been out there. But I'm guessing that's where a lot of that, they probably had too many brooms in their hand versus going to respond to real heightened situations like a firefighter being shot and robbed on the street and him having to protect himself in the process 9 days ago. So you go ahead and finish. I'm a little shocked because I didn't even see that one. It kind of slid underneath me. I was just
I caught that
now.
news and I was like, wow, that's a wild story.
Yeah.
And I hope that helps to open people's eyes that, when it comes to emergency service, EMS service, public safety service, that you have to look at the whole apparatus. You have to look at the whole ecosystem. You need violence prevention interrupters. You need folks that can work for the emergency call center. You need to look at every aspect of what people need in these moments, rather than just saying, "Oh, just send in some troops, or just send in some guns, just send in some military style operation," and it's just not enough. So I want to introduce my guest real quick because we just got an alpha man in the building. We have State Representative and Assistant Minority Leader Kalan Haywood II.
Good morning, WNOB. How y'all doing?
Welcome to the show.
Thanks for joining us. And you're just like us. You wish you were in CBC, but you didn't make it either, so it's all good.
I stayed back and stayed active in the district, but CBC is definitely always a good time for sure. We can
listen, man. CBC 55. That's next year. Yeah. So we'll be at 55. Yeah, we can go to the call.
Okay, we'll go to a call real quick.
Okay. Oh, okay. We missed a call.
Okay. You want to go ahead, snatch a quick break real quick before we get in with
and then
Haywood?
we can get into some questions with our good brother, State Representative Kalan Haywood II.
AURN News.
I'm Jamie Jackson. A new AP NORC poll shows a sharp rise in public concern about the direction of the country. The number of Americans who say the U.S. is on the wrong track has jumped to 75%, up from 62% earlier this year. That includes a major shift among Republicans, with the share saying the country is heading the wrong way, rising from 29% to 51% since June. The survey also found widespread disapproval of President Trump's performance on key issues. 62% of Americans disapprove of how he's handling the economy, and 63% disapprove of his approach to trade negotiations. But on border security, Trump receives majority support, with 55% approving of how he's handling the issue. The poll was conducted from September 11th through 15th after the tragic shooting death of conservative leader Charlie Kirk. For AURN News, I'm Jamie Jackson.
I'm Andrea Elvers with your TMJ4 News update. Missy Hughes is adding her name to a growing list of candidates for Wisconsin governor. She recently served in Governor Tony Evers' administration as secretary and CEO of the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation, but resigned this month to run for office. A 35-year-old man has been arrested and charged in the shooting death of a Canadian man in Sheboygan Falls. Luis Cruz Burgos is charged with first-degree reckless homicide in the death of Mike Robinson, who was visiting the area for a golf trip. Beginning today, the Curder Burger returns for a limited time. It's part of Culver's first ever Curd-toberfest celebration. The chain is also launching a new spicy sidekick, but you'll have to wait till National Cheese Curd Day. Jalapeno cheese curds will debut October 15th. And the Milwaukee Brewers end the regular season with the best record in baseball and the #1 overall seed. It took them 162 regular season games to break their franchise record for most wins. They'll play either the Padres or the Cubs in the NLDS this Saturday. To watch or read these stories and more, go to TMJ4.com or download the free TMJ4 News app.
Here's your updated forecast. We'll see sunny skies here for today with a high in the upper 70s. Winds out of the east around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Then for tonight, mostly clear with a low near 59. By Tuesday, sunshine, a high of 72 degrees. Wednesday, partly sunny skies, a high around 70. Thursday, we'll see some sunshine, high of 71. And by Friday, mostly sunny sky conditions, a high around 80. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki on AM 860, The Voice.
Remembering what we stand for. At Wisconsin Voices, we remember what we stand for. Check out our movement dedicated to empowering citizens and shaping the future. Engage with us on our website, social media, and podcast to make a difference. Visit wisconsinvoices.org. Explore our events calendar, like and subscribe to us on social media. Listen to recent podcasts and radio, and subscribe to our email and newsletter. Amplify your voice and be a voice today.
Wisconsin Voice's 3 pillars are protecting democracy. Your vote is your voice. Wisconsin Voices works to protect democracy in Wisconsin by fighting voter suppression, promoting voting rights, and ensuring fair elections for all. Teaching advocacy. Teaching advocacy empowers and educates advocates in Wisconsin by offering training, resources, and support to enhance their skills, fostering a more informed and effective advocacy community for social and economic change. Building community. Wisconsin Voices builds strong communities for a healthy democracy by collaborating with diverse partners, creating networks for positive change, and fostering a sense of belonging and common purpose. Learn more about Wisconsin Voices by going to wisconsinvoices.org. Learn more about what our partners are doing by visiting the events calendar. Listen to recent episodes by going to our podcast and radio. Get involved today.
860 AM 106.5 FM. WNOV. The Voice.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to Be a Voice Radio, Wisconsin Voices, here alongside our guest, Mr. Kalan Haywood II, correct?
Yep, good morning. Good morning.
David Bowen, Executive Director. Bryan Sanders, Community Outreach Organizer, Wisconsin Voices. Back to you, David. And he was like, look, man, I wasn't even ready yet.
And if you know on the social medias, hit us up. We are on social media.
Oh, yeah.
Wisconsin
Tap
Voices.
in with us, please. We need to promote that more. We have been slipping on that.
We're
Yes.
on Facebook, Instagram,
Yes.
TikTok.
Thank you. Yes, type in Wisconsin Voices, it'll pop up and you'll see something. Shout out to Lanisha and the squad, Angelique, Nicole, of course, as well. Zoe, everybody that's been helping us so we can make sure we stay on point. Yeah,
absolutely. So I wanted to just tee it up and just dive into Assistant Minority Leader, State Representative Kalan Haywood's experience at CBC, because it's such a historic space to be a part of. And I know that you, at this point, you're a veteran. You've been there multiple years. What do you usually bring back from CBC that helps you in your work here?
Yeah, so CBC is like, you got to be there. Like you got to go and experience CBC. I think for the networking piece, I mean, there's literally everyone there. You get people from all across the country, some people from out of the country as well, who come in and get to network and build that connections. And I think also too for us, you know, when we're doing the work, whether you're doing that in an elected office or you're doing that in community organizing or anywhere in between, there's someone else doing what you are doing in a different state somewhere else. Someone who's has made more progress than you have, someone who's having a harder time than you have. So you're able to pick up jewels and get information about what you can do and help coalition build. But also for folks who you made progress on certain issues, you're able to help them. Hey, let me help you out in your state, and this will work for us. So I think for me, the networking piece, the idea, the brain share that you are doing, I think also too, just like the work get hard. The work gets real hard. I think CBC is a healing moment almost too. Not only are you getting resources and getting that experience, it's one, you're talking to folks who are experiencing some of the same hardships as you are too, some of the same struggles you are too, when they keep going, and you're able to motivate each other and work with each other. But also just being in DC and just like been around this positive Black energy. Like it just make you feel good, and you recharge, come back. Like you probably don't sleep much during CBC week, but when you come back there, you feel recharged to do the work. So I think the social piece is good too. And just it's a good time, and Black people are just doing great things, and you see that, and you hear about what's happening around Black America all across the media all the time. What's not happening, the good, the bad, but you really see that. It's a bunch of good dope stuff happening. There's more to come from being at CBC.
Yeah, it's kind of like you mentioned earlier, David, when you were just saying like just going out there and just feeling like you're not in the work by yourself. So so tie right in.
And what better moment would you need a healing space than like what you continue to see right now? Vulnerable communities continue to be attacked by the highest office in the land, unfortunately. So it's definitely an important space. My brother Benny, shouts out to my Milwaukee brother Benny. He always say like late nights, early mornings, where like, it is the norm where you will go to sleep at probably 2, 3, 4, or maybe even 4 a.m. and you are right back up
at a panel at 8:30 in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning.
The Congresswoman panel starts at, I think 8 o'clock, 8 or 9. So you gotta get up and you better be in that room on time. If not,
for sure,
you're gonna have to a scolding on your hands. But it's so important to be in that space. Give us some insight of some of the really cool people you've either met out there or just initiatives that you've noted and tried to bring back and highlight.
So you meet, first of all, I think guys have been in politics and doing work. There are politicians you think you would never meet. I think people don't realize that. Like there's people you think that you would never meet, or when you do meet them, they're gonna be they're governor of this state, or they the congresswoman or congressman from this state, and like they ain't gonna be rocking with me. But you also get in this space and like everybody is just chill and cool. Everybody's willing to have that conversation, that dialogue. And I think also with that too, the people you think you weren't going to get engaged with, I think you can plug in now with them, and y'all exchange contact information, y'all exchange numbers, y'all figure out how they can come support you in your state and what's going on back home. I think for me too, just connect with my other colleagues who work in state government around the country. And like one they'd be like, so we fighting for a majority in Wisconsin, and you go to connect with other states where they fought for a majority, they got a majority. I'm able to learn what worked, what didn't work, what prep work you should be doing now to make sure when we get the majority, we can sustain the majority. But then all the celebrities that come, I be like, all right, this is cool. But they really are there. They all having a good time. Nobody's been like, stuck up or whatever. Like everybody just here to cool and connect. So you got celebrities that come in and talk on panels, and celebrities that you wouldn't even think that. They do what they do, and whether they're actor or artist or whatever it may be, but they are here on these panels, and they actually care about the issues that you see happening. You're able to make those connections, and you're actually able to bring people back to Wisconsin or back to your home state. Like, hey, you care about this housing issue? I need you to come back and talk to my district because you're gonna draw people in. So I think for me and for initiative building right now, we are. So I'm sad I didn't go this year. But also I had a good time back in the district, so that was cool. But like I'm working on a housing package for the fall. We're doing an October rollout for housing. I mean, housing is super important. If you cannot have a good place to call home to start your day, end your day, everything else in between is chaotic.
That's right.
So I'm able to connect with folks in other states, and when we do travel to DC often, and at CBC especially, you're able to connect with housing experts. You connect them with people who are doing the work, whether they are community organizers, or they are lobbyists in that space, whether they are other legislators, but also subject matter experts. Everybody comes to this conference. It's not just like there's like no other conference I've ever been to where usually I go to a conference and it's Democratic leaders from the state, or I go to a conference and it's all the state reps, or I go to a conference and it's all local government officials. But this is like literally everybody you can possibly see and meet. And it's just like you never know who pop up. Like you never know. Like for me, I think one of the people I got to meet is Governor Westmore. Like that for me was Alpha too. So that's my brother. But getting to meet him, and when I met him, honestly I got nervous. Two people made me nervous when I got to meet him. I think Barack was one. I got nervous when I met Barack. It's one other person. I don't remember who it was, but Governor Westmore, I met him, and like it just pure genuine solid dude who was willing to offer support and resources and connecting. And
what about VP Harris?
Meeting VP Harris was a surreal moment too. Like she's also like, I think like you hear about, like you see her on TV all the time, like nonstop. But I think when you get to actually sit there and talk to her and chat with her, super cool. And she actually, one thing about her too is when especially like during the campaign cycle last year, you have people that fly in and they come in, they follow the script. No, she actually remember you from when she came back last time, or in between, or she remember that time you were somewhere else and she saw you, or she like, hey, how's David doing? How's Chevy's doing? I'm like, Dang, you remember that's cold. Like, I love that.
That's
Super genuine person, and I think real down to earth, and I think that she doesn't get enough credit for that at the time.
Got you.
Looks like we got a little ring-a-ling on the line.
We do have a caller.
Let's go on ahead. You are on the line. B-Voice Radio, Wisconsin Voices. Good morning.
Hey, good afternoon to you guys, man. Hey, Kaden, brother, you talking so fast, man. We can't understand you. You done got too good at the game. You talking so fast, I can't even understand you, man.
This Mitch?
Yeah, yes, sir.
I got you.
Yeah. But anyway, you know, I hate to stir the pot a little bit, but I asked Dave a question last week, and he never answered me. And I felt some kind of
Mitch, I answered you, Mitch.
No, you did not.
Yes, I did,
Mitch. You didn't bump into each other.
Why Mitch be lying, man? I think Mitch sometimes be trolling
each other out in New York. And I couldn't believe that you said that.
No. You said you were out in New York, and I'm like, I've never seen you out in New York.
I bumped into you out in New York, and we was chopping it up. And I asked you a question. I said, "Are you a socialist?"
New York.
And you never got to answer that question. I said, "No."
Mitch, when were you in New York?
Sir. Huh?
When were you?
We was out there during the Bernie Sanders years. You was with Bernie Sanders. He was trying to do something with Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, but what were you doing out in New York?
Man, I go cross country, man. I've been to 39 different states in 2 foreign countries, man. I mean, you know, I was out there fellowshipping.
I need to know who paying you, Mitch.
Ain't nobody paying me. You know what? It's all in good will. But then I heard little Kalan say he got nervous when he got ready to meet Barack, and he got nervous when he got ready to meet the governor. Now, shame on you, man, for getting nervous. How you gonna say it? I'm gonna tell your daddy on you. Like you got nervous and you got ready to shake another mere man's hand.
Yep.
That's really not. Them two guys, man, it's not really putting it in for the way we need to put in, man. We need to put in the way that white boy is putting it in right now. Donald Trump, he's putting it in. We need a brother to do that, and that's one reason why I believe.
I'm aware.
Huh?
You are a big Donald Trump fan.
Well, I'm for whatever's right. He done already did what I wanted him to do, so he can go away now. Man, start in on these illegal immigrants, getting them out of here so our people can get back to work.
I got you.
And
That's
get
your
the
biggest
homosexuals
issue.
Out of our school system.
That's your biggest issue.
Right there. Huh?
That's your biggest issue.
That's my biggest issue.
As a black man, that's your biggest issue.
As a black man, because guess what? Hey, brother, the way I live and getting in, it don't make no difference. Usually when these people pass, Democrats or Republicans, when they pass laws, it's usually too big to help me or it's too small to help me. So I'm in the middle, and most of you guys in there's in the middle. It can't help you at the top or it can't help us at the bottom. So we in the middle dangling all the time, But anyway, man, let's sit back and wait on these National Guards, man, because everybody in there believe in protection, right? Everybody in there scared right now. Everybody head on a swivel. Mine too, man. It's bad out here. As long as these people don't come in with some kind of permanent occupying our cities, we got to get this back. We're still suffering from the George Floyd's movement, man. And what's happening now is our young people have directed that energy.
Well, we appreciate you, Mitch. You're going to keep going. Mitch not going to stop. But Mitch wanted you to give some insight.
Yeah, no. To my comment earlier about when I met people like Governor Westmore or President Obama or VP Harris, the nervous is not just from meeting them as a person. When you really study what they do and the work they've done,
that's right,
and the progress they have made,
okay,
you want to make sure that you use that time, like that moment, to connect as efficient as possible. Not only do you want to connect and get to know them and as who they are as a person, but you also want to collect those jewels. And if you don't take a moment before you meet people who you respect in the work that you do, if you don't take that moment to just take it in and get ready for it, you're going to mess up the opportunity. But make sure you're able to take that opportunity and get some jewels or some information or a connection or a relationship that you could bring back home and bring some wins to your community. I mean, that's what it's about.
Yeah. I'll tell you one, and some people might be surprised for me to say this. Mike McGee Sr. was the most just influential person I could ever hear big up the work that I was doing, and made me nervous as heck. Because I look at him as a legend. You know what I mean? I look at so many other, even Marvin Pratt. The first time I had a chance to actually talk to Marvin Pratt, the Marvin Pratt, that I was in the streets and saying his name and singing songs and clapping and with Quad, Muhib and a number of them. It was man, these are legends. Yep. So I have to give respect and credit where credit is due. Even if Meech don't mess with them, Meech messes with Trump. That's
gotta
where
acknowledge
his
the people that put
that's
in
where
the
his
work.
thing is.
And I agree with you saying, Obama has done a lot. I mean, over that time, just as much as the movement and it's all the things and the knowledge that he has. I mean, yeah, of course, gathering the type of words you're trying to figure out. It's more probably like the anxiousness of knowing that this opportunity doesn't happen too often. I got to try to make it impactful as much as you can.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. And even with the local folks, you see some of the local folks move like, hey, look, man, let me get 10 minutes real quick. So yeah, I mean, even with a Mike McGee Sr. or Mr. Pratt when he was actively moving around the city the way he was, shoot, them guys was I seen Mr. Pratt back in I was at court for a ticket over something petty when I was younger, and I was dressed in a suit, and I'll never forget Mr. Pratt see me down at the courthouse, and first thing he said to me was like, "I like your shoes, young man." And I don't even think at the time I knew how deep of like a family connection it was between like my granddad and him knowing my granddad and all that. But that's from that era, like that group of the community brainstorming guys, and my granddad and all them dudes used to be hanging out and all them guys coming together. So you hear about all these stories from these guys, the work they put in here. I mean, you hear all the stuff on the surface, but if you sitting down with some of the ones that's still around, you hear some really cool stories. And I got the honor to privilege to sit down with some of the guys with some of that era of the community brainstorming people when I was in my early 20s, and going to sit with these brothers now that's half of them probably gone, but you got the ones that Russell Stamper Senior, and, a couple other guys. I can't think of the other one that used to be real close to my granddad. He's still around. It'll come to me in a minute, but just groups of guys that was just speaking about the history and learning so much, and they were really just engaged with, all right, what are you guys doing? This was conversation. I wasn't even into like heavy in the community. I was working in like a private community space, but they wanted to know what, these guys at the time was in their late 70s. This is, 15, 16, 17 years ago. What are you guys doing? What are y'all doing? What's the next step? Like, we can't keep doing this. Like, what's the next move? And that's what they were really concerned with. So I know that's still a concern in the back of the elders' heads that's in this community. Like, what are y'all doing? And now we got all these folks in these spaces now. Everybody's adults, graduated college. You got young guys, up at the top and at the state. You got people on the ground and in between. So now we here to show them what we can do. And I think we got to really hold this torch. Yeah. So that was my little piece, man. My little motion part, y'all.
No, it's all good. I was gonna say I felt the same when I met Val Phillips too. The honorable Val Phillips. I mean, man.
I was like,
small.
I was like, man,
small legend in the big legend in the small package, right? Small woman, but like, man, she was 10 feet tall to me.
Yeah,
10 feet tall to me. Yeah. Let's shift and talk about your most important issue. Meech was like, hey, migrants and immigration is his. You highlighted housing. Let's just talk about why housing is so important to you.
No, so I mean, every elected official, every public servant has to ask themselves, what is going to be your thing?
Mm-hmm.
You work on a bunch of different issues. You get a bunch of different phone calls, letters, emails, meetings, and you try to help out everywhere you can. But you also have to ask yourself, what is going to be the most important thing you work on while you're in office, while you get to serve? And for me, it's been housing. When I look at my community, when I look around the state, when I look around the country, the fight and the struggle for Black people when it's come to housing has been real for decades and for generations. And I think that right now, like I said earlier, where you start your day and where you end your day is so important. If you are starting your day, and this is for our young people going to school, this is for our parents and adults who are going to work during the day, even for our elders. If you come outside and the neighborhood the streets is clean, there are no potholes, a well taken care of Black-owned, Black homeownership neighborhood, it puts you in this unconscious positive headspace to start your day. When you come out and you see the opposite, unconsciously it puts you in this different headspace that affects how you perform throughout the day. So I firmly believe that no matter who you are, no matter where you come from, you deserve access to an affordable quality home. And when people say here affordable, they think of like low income, and I don't think that's what that means. Affordable means is no matter who you are, no matter what your income is, you can afford to live somewhere good and somewhere nice. Mm-hmm. But I think we got to get back to how we create more Black ownership. Right now, Wisconsin is lagging behind the national average. when it comes to having black home ownership. I'm 26, so I can only hear about what's happened in the past and study and research. But at one point in time in Milwaukee, black home ownership was high. You had these strong black neighborhoods. And I think a lot of the time, black neighborhoods get this bad rap for what they bring and what they're about and what's happening there. But I know a bunch of black neighborhoods who are some of the best neighborhoods in the city and best neighborhoods in the state. So it's not about who the neighborhood is. It's about making sure that people in the neighborhood have the resources to support and invest in it. So for me, I've been trying to figure out since I've been in office is how do we get us back to this flagship version of what black ownership looks like, especially in Milwaukee. So working on a package of bills. We're working on it this entire year. We're getting ready to roll this bill package out in October, mid-October. I am leading we call it the Housing Workforce Group. Okay. A housing work group, where we are a coalition of all of us from the state and the Democratic caucus are meeting bi-weekly to come up with ideas and talk to stakeholders and talk to experts about what needs to happen. Also looking at what's happening in Illinois, what's happening in Minnesota, what's happening in California. What are they doing to make sure that home ownership is more accessible? I remember the first time I applied for a home. I thought, I got a decent job. I'm gonna be able to get this loan. They told me no. I was like, what? And it's like it used my job as a reason why I couldn't. I was up for re-election that year. Don't know how legitimate that was, but it used my re-election as a reason why I couldn't do it. But for me, it was a moment of like, if they are telling our elected officials that they can't get home loans, what are they telling other people? My things, I want to make sure that when there are other young people who are going out to go try to achieve that home and buy that starter home and begin to build a generational wealth and prosperity, I'm able to get access to those loans. But also enough for my people that go through the whole home ownership process, finding the house, getting a good deal on the house, and then going through the whole banking and funding process is a challenge. But also even having the capital to even start to talk, what's my down payment? Where do you get that down payment, that seed money from? Right. So this package of bills will cover the affordability piece and making sure we're able to create more homes at a more affordable rate or allow the funding, whether that's through grants, 0% interest loans or low interest loans that people can then use to go buy homes. One, I'm just going to let the cat out the bag. One is calling a second mortgage. Finding that down payment money is hard. A lot of people, sometimes you can't do it. So we'll allow for folks to be able to have a second mortgage, which is a down payment assistance program almost. But you're able to get that second mortgage, use that money to go get that loan to buy that home. You will start your mortgage on that new home, and then that seed money you use, you wouldn't start repaying on that until actually your first mortgage is paid off. But it hopes that by that time it actually comes, you can just pay off that down payment money you had because you had a chance to stack and save and build capacity. So working on affordability, working on homeownership pieces, making sure that we take out some of the barriers to actually owning a home and getting a home. And then also for folks who, everybody's not trying to buy a home, everybody can't buy a home right now. But our tenants, people who are renters still need rights. Wisconsin has swung the pendulum so far towards property owners and homeowners and landlords. And tenants, they are struggling to be able to fight for themselves and be able to demand the rights they have and demand that their landlords make sure their home stays safe, stays quality. They're paying for it. So we got a series of tenant bills that are coming out as well, protection bills that are coming out as well, to swing that pendulum back to the middle that is more fair. Whether you are a homeowner or a renter, you should have the ability to maintain and hold folks accountable as well. So focus on affordability, focus on home ownership, and focusing on the tenants' rights piece. We can make sure we get folks in the homes. And my thing is, when I'm done here, if our home ownership rate is above the national average and we are a trailblazer and making sure Black people get to a home, then I did my job. So for me, housing is the biggest thing. Make sure that folks have someone to call home that is quality, that's affordable, and somewhere that's safe to start their day and their day.
Yeah, I like that. It's highly important. I hear it from all different angles. You hear people, in certain ranges from the bottom to the top talking about, hey, I want to move, but this is too high, or, I want to look into a house. So yeah, everything you're saying is aligned with everything I've been hearing just from talking to people in my circles and other spaces that, it's ever changing. You can't really focus on other areas if you don't have a comfortable place to lay your head. So,
yeah. And where you live at affects what schools you can go to, what grocery stores going to be nearby, what dentist's office, doctor's office, what resources you're going to be around. And right now, we've been like rent is crazy. Not across the nation, rent is crazy. But even here in Milwaukee, we got recently got our first building downtown that is the same price per square footage as a building in New York. That's crazy when you think about it, because our incomes don't match what's happening in New York.
Yeah.
So we are people who are literally been priced out of certain spaces and places, and they cannot be forgotten about. I represent downtown Milwaukee, but I also represent 50206. And for me, my district isn't a huge district. It isn't this 3 hour by 3 hour district. I get from one end to the next. WLV is actually the north part of my district.
Mm-hmm.
I get from here to the south point of my district downtown in probably like 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So we got such a economic disparity in such a short space and short distance. You got to figure that out. But there should be no reason that we know that owning a home is more affordable. It's cheaper a lot of the time, but also you're able to build that wealth now to pass down to your kids and your grandkids. But there's no reason that we shouldn't be working actively and aggressively every day to make sure that Black people get a chance to own a home and live that dream. And start small if you have to, but build it up too. Because when people own homes, they talk about that first house they bought. Whether they bought it and they did all the hard work, the flooring, the painting, the demo, whatever they did themselves over time, but they never forget that first homeowner experience and how it changed their life for the better. So we're just trying to get back to that.
Absolutely. And that's why it's an important issue, not just for folks in our community, also Wisconsin Voices. So it's one of our priority advocacy issues as well. We see it important that's what created a Rufus King neighborhood. That's what created a Howard Park neighborhood. That's what created a Grant Boulevard neighborhood, a Sherman Park neighborhood. You had folks who had access to the variety of the different stages they were at in life to be able to invest in home ownership, whether that was their beginning first starter home or I got a little bit of money now I'm about to upgrade to a designer home. And it's a Black neighborhood. So I love the fact that you are championing that in your agenda. And it's a progressive way to do it. I think a lot of times we have debates on like what's progressive, what's not progressive. To be able to offer financing for families that otherwise can't afford it because they can't save for their down payment, and creating these creative ways to be able to get them there, that's progressive. And that's moving the needle. So we love it. We love to see it. And we want to continue to support everything you're doing. And I know that we have to take a break soon, but I do want to give a shout out to the Legislative Black Caucus that you're a part of. And the listening session, I'm sure housing is one of the topics that's coming up as people are attending the listening sessions that you guys are hosting around the state. October 2nd will be the Milwaukee listening session, and Wisconsin Voices is helping to host that at our location at Century City Tower at the first floor presentation room, 4201 North 27th Street. October 2nd, 5 to 7 p.m. Before we
real quick too, before we
go ahead.
We've done Racine, we've done Green Bay, and we've done Madison for this town hall series, and the turnout has been great. But Milwaukee is our last stop on this tour. We gotta show up and show out. So Milwaukee, make sure y'all come out this week Thursday. And make sure your voice is heard in this process as the Black Caucus at the state is building our agenda for the rest of the session.
Absolutely. I know we got a break, so we're gonna go ahead and take that break now, and then when we come back on the flip side, we'll dive more into the town halls and what people are saying.
AURN News.
I'm Jamie Jackson. A new AP North poll shows a sharp rise in public concern about the direction of the country. The number of Americans who say the U.S. is on the wrong track has jumped to 75%, up from 62% earlier this year. That includes a major shift among Republicans, with the share saying the country is heading the wrong way, rising from 29% to 51% since June. The survey also found widespread disapproval of President Trump's performance on key issues. 62% of Americans disapprove of how he's handling the economy, and 63% disapprove of his approach to trade negotiations. But on border security, Trump receives majority support, with 55% approving of how he's handling the issue. The poll was conducted from September 11th through 15th after the tragic shooting death of conservative leader Charlie Kirk. For AURN News, I'm Jamie Jackson.
I'm Andrea Elbers with your TMJ4 News update. Missy Hughes is adding her name to a growing list of candidates for Wisconsin governor. She recently served in Governor Tony Evers' administration as secretary and CEO of the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation, but but resigned this month to run for office. A 35-year-old man has been arrested and charged in the shooting death of a Canadian man in Sheboygan Falls. Louise Cruz Burgos is charged with first-degree reckless homicide in the death of Mike Robinson, who was visiting the area for a golf trip. Beginning today, the Curder Burger returns for a limited time. It's part of Culver's first ever Curd-toberfest celebration. The chain is also launching a new spicy sidekick, but you'll have to wait till National Cheese Curd Day. Jalapeno cheese curds will debut October 15th. And the Milwaukee Brewers end the regular season with the best record in baseball and the #1 overall seed. It took them 162 regular season games to break their franchise record for most wins. They'll play either the Padres or the Cubs in the NLDS this Saturday. To watch or read these stories and more, go to TMJ4.com or download the free TMJ4 News app.
Here's your updated forecast. We'll see sunny skies here for today with a high in the upper 70s. Winds out of the east around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Then for tonight, mostly clear with a low near 59. By Tuesday, sunshine, a high of 72 degrees. Wednesday, partly sunny skies, a high around 70. Thursday, we'll see some sunshine, a high of 71. And by Friday, mostly sunny sky conditions, a high around 80. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki on AM 860, The Voice.
Remembering what we stand for. At Wisconsin Voices, we remember what we stand for. Check out our movement dedicated to empowering citizens and shaping the future. Engage with us on our website, social media, and podcast to make a difference. Visit wisconsinvoices.org. Explore our events calendar, like and subscribe to us on social media. Listen to recent podcasts and radio, and subscribe to our email and newsletter. Amplify your voice and be a voice today.
This is Bryan Sanders with Wisconsin Voices. Join me every Monday and Tuesday at 11 a.m. as we break down what's really happening in our communities. From local politics to statewide policy, we're talking civic power, public meetings, voting rights, and how you can hold elected officials accountable. It's not just talk. It's about action, strategy, and building people-powered change. Tune in.
860 AM 106.5 FM. WNOV, The Voice.
Welcome back to Be a Voice Radio, Wisconsin Voices, 860 WV, 106.5 FM. Back to the conversation with Mr. Kalan Haywood, the second.
For sure.
He said for sure.
Right. Shouts out to Kalan Haywood, the original.
Yes, shout out to the original, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Legend in his own right. So we've been talking about housing. We've been talking about the listening session coming up. What do you hope to gain from the Milwaukee listening session? And you were once chair of the Milwaukee of the Black Caucus. So, now you're going into an election year. It's about to get crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Governor's race, state Supreme Court race, all the races for the midterms for Congress. Talk about what you hope the momentum builds from this session and what people are saying.
Yeah. So we all know 2024 was a hard year for everybody. And there was a lot of good fights fought. The year didn't shake out how we wanted it to all the way through, but we did have some wins. And some of those wins were here in Wisconsin. We were able to pick up 4 seats, and Democrats pick up 4 seats in the state Senate. In my caucus in the Assembly, we picked up 10 seats. And Democrats have been in the deep minority for a very long time in Wisconsin, for over a decade. So we've been on defense over the last decade, fighting against all the bad Republican ideas and policy points. But in 2026, we got a real chance that not only we got a governor's race, open governor's race, and we want to fight to maintain a Democratic governor, whoever comes with their primary, making sure that we support them getting across the finish line. We got a chance to fix and flip our state Senate and state Assembly for the first time, and have this Dem trifecta. Where Democrats are controlling the executive branch and the legislative branch, and one began to undo some of the harm that's been done by Republicans to the state, especially to the city of Milwaukee and the county of Milwaukee over the last decade, but also we got to lead. When you lead, you got to have a vision of what you want that to be.
That's right.
So for me, as a member of the Black Caucus and as a member of leadership in the legislature, that when we get to the majority, I want to make sure that the issues of Milwaukee and the issues of Black people around Wisconsin are at forefront of mind. But I think what we've done as a party, I was to be honest, for the last several election cycles, the party nationally has been dictating to the public what the priority should be, what you should care about. Here's the important issues, and we have done. The party as a national body has not done enough listening when we're creating that agenda and what's important. So for me, the hope with this town hall series with the Black Caucus, the town hall series I'm going to host as an individual, going around the state and going around the city in the coming months, and just as we are beginning to build what that vision looks like, people are showing up to let me know and let us know what they want to see us prioritize and what they want to see us fight for. I don't want to say this is what I think you need. I don't even say I know this is what you need because you told me this is what you need. So I hope is that people come out and show up and make sure that their issues and their priorities and what they want to see happen are at the forefront of the conversation and become a part of that agenda that we're building that is encompassing everything you say you want and not just what we think you need. So hope you get good input and good feedback. A lot of times people think that elected officials or public servants just come up with all these great ideas. We don't. They come from the people. So make sure that you are coming and bring those ideas to the forefront. We work for you. We are your representatives. We want to fight for what you want us to fight for, but you got to tell us what it is. But we're not creating a space to make sure we have that collective dialogue as a community to have that conversation.
And if it don't come from the people, something wrong.
Yep.
So no, that's perfect. I'm glad that you put it that way. That's how things come from the ground. That's when it's organic, it's real, it's authentic, and that's how you create a agenda that a party, a group side can champion.
Yeah, real quick, they always keep saying, and our people last week was saying our guests getting back to that grassroots. So would you agree with that? This is part of getting back to that grassroots before we get up out of here?
No, definitely. I mean, that's what this is. This is like making sure that again, the people are the one dictating the policy and the agenda, and we as the public servants are going out carrying that mission. So we getting back to where we came from and getting back to the folks who sent us there, and just making sure that I can't change what's happening nationally overnight as a party, but as a leader in the state, I can definitely change what's happening here in the state and our approach to how we lead, but make sure that we're leading with the people and not to the people.
Okay. Absolutely. I've seen the leadership on you from the day I met you when you were a teenager. You've been doing an amazing job. Keep up the grind. Proud of you. Thank you. We got this listening session, this town hall on Thursday. So please, folks, come out October 2nd, right? That's a Thursday or Wednesday?
Thursday.
That's a Thursday. And then it'll be at the WNOV offices on the first floor. So come out 4201 North 27th Street at Century City Tower. You can find us on Facebook. They can find you on social media too. Shout out to your social media. Real quick.
Kalan Haywood, Kalan Haywood. It's most platforms, or it's Kalan Haywood WI. So Wisconsin, the abbreviation after. But find me, hit me. I respond all the time. So as best as I can. So let me know.
You're doing all the things, man. We're proud of you. And then we look forward to seeing you at the listening session on Thursday.
Likewise.
All right. Well, that was another episode of Be a Voice Radio, Wisconsin Voices. Tune in tomorrow. We have Crystal Crow from out there in CBC as well to talk about her experience and her event that she had. That's it. God bless y'all. Be safe out there. Enjoy the weather. Peace.
Be good. Be careful. And bye-bye, as Eric Vaughn used to say.
Yeah.